Good project management is almost entirely about leadership. And yet, as project managers at the start of our career, we learn relatively little about the theory of leadership and the models that make it work. So in this video, I want to pique your interest by introducing you to some of the most important, some of the most valuable theories and models of leadership for project managers. When I started learning about leadership and encountered a wide range of models and theories by leading leadership thinkers, I started to get confused because the theories, the models, they were all different. And I thought, how can they all be true? What I realized is that fundamentally, there are three types of leadership model. And once you understand that, you can start to put the different theories, the different models into a framework. Those three types of model are traits-based theories, style-based theories, and role-based theories. That's to say, traits-based theories are about leadership being about the sort of person you are and the characteristics you have. Secondly, we've got styles-based models which say that leadership is really about how you go about the craft of leadership, how you deal with the people around you. And role-based models say that leaders have certain things they need to do, and if you do those things, if you fulfill those roles, then you'll be effective. And without a doubt, all three types of model can exist together very comfortably. It's entirely right that you should have certain characteristics, you should lead with certain styles, and there are a number of different roles that you need to fulfill. So let's take a look at these different approaches. Arguably, there's been least research going into the idea of traits-based models. You yourself will know, though, that there are certain characteristics, there are certain personality and character traits that leaders whom you recognize have. And the best thing you can do is to think about the leaders you've known, the people you respect, and to think about their traits, their character, their personality. What is it they're good at? What is it they put on show? As you think about those things, ask yourself, how good am I if I score myself on each of those traits? That will give you some idea about the most valuable things to develop. James Kouzes and Barry Posner documented a huge number of leadership traits that people valued. If you understand what you value in your culture, in your organization, then you can start to see the traits to develop in yourself. There are a number of style-based models of leadership, and they often come under the heading of contingency theories or situational leadership. All of the sensible style-based theories of leadership, however, will have one thing in common. They will all assert that there are many styles of leadership, and the style you should choose should be dependent in some way upon the situation. The style that's right for this person in this situation is going to be different from the style that is right for that person in that situation. A lot of the thinking on this in modern times goes back to Fiedler, but perhaps the single most valuable work was done by Tannenbaum and Schmidt, and I'll put a link in the description to their classic paper in the Harvard Business Review on the leadership continuum. And they identified a range of leadership styles on a continuum from highly controlling, highly directive, appropriate in situations where an inexperienced, unwilling team needs to get something done, to a highly enabling style where you've got a skilled team of highly motivated professionals for whom all you need to do is set them an objective and make sure they have the resources they need to do the work. Following on from Tannenbaum and Schmidt, Hersey and Blanchard put together a trademarked, copyrighted situational leadership model. When they, as two professionals, went their separate ways each of them develop that model into their own current format. So you've got Paul Hurst's Situational Leadership and Ken Blanchard's Situational Leadership 2. But both of these models simplify the situations down to 4 boxes. One is for situations where the person you're trying to lead has little experience and not a lot of confidence, whilst another suggests that they may still have little experience but be eager to get on with the job. In a third scenario, you've got people with a measure, perhaps a large measure of experience and knowledge, but still not a lot of confidence or wavering confidence as time goes on. And finally, there's always going to be people for whom the task you want to set them is something they're highly skilled at and highly motivated to do. Those 4 different situations lead to different approaches to leadership. Clearly, you need to give more support to people who have less confidence, less enthusiasm. And clearly, you need to give more direction to people who know less and understand less about the task you're setting. You withdraw direction and just give overall objectives to people who know what they're doing. And you don't need to provide support to people who are eager, enthusiastic, and highly motivated. So situational leadership models are very useful indeed. I'll provide a link in the description to our What is Situational Leadership video and also to our full course on how you can use situational leadership to get the very best from your team. Another approach to styles-based leadership is the one that Daniel Goleman put in his book, The New Leaders, which is about leading with emotional intelligence. And he articulated 6 different styles of leadership that you can adopt depending on the situation you find yourself in. Goleman's leadership styles were visionary, coaching, affiliative, democratic, pace-setting, and commanding. And Goleman's books are well worth reading for any project manager. In particular, I recommend Working with Emotional Intelligence for a good background to emotional intelligence theory, and The New Leaders for anyone who aspires to bring emotional intelligence to their leadership and leadership to their project management. The third approach to leadership models and leadership theories is the role-based approach. And the role-based approach says that as a leader, you have a number of roles to fulfill. And a model that I think is very valuable to us is John Adair's 3 circles, suggesting that a leader has 3 circles of interest that delineate their roles. The first is individuals within their team. Second is the tasks that those individuals and those teams need to perform. And third is the team itself, and making sure that you take care of the team and build a sense of team spirit. When I talk about the 4 essentials of team leadership, I am coincidentally, because I was originally unaware of Adair's work, using a very similar approach, where I talk about the individual, the plan, the team, and communication, an essential element to your role as a team leader. We can look at my 4 essentials model, or John Adair's 3 circles model, very much as a model of transactional roles within leadership. Transactional leadership is about day-to-day leadership that gets things done. Working in the 1970s, first Burns and then Bernard Bass defined an alternative, the idea of transformational leadership, the leadership you need when you want to make significant changes to a culture, to an organisation, to a team, or to the individuals within the team. Yes, we've done a video about transformational leadership, so do take a look at that. Again, I'll put links in the description below. But in a nutshell, as Bernard Bass articulated transformational leadership, he described it in terms of 4 roles of a transformational leader. These roles are inspirational motivation, individualized attention, intellectual stimulation, and idealized influence. The latter being about the role of a leader to be a role model to her or his followers. The final role-based model I want to talk about, and again, one we've done a substantial video on quite recently, is Robert Greenleaf's idea of a servant leader. The role of the leader is to serve the people who follow them. Do take a look at that video, because for me, servant leadership is the single most valuable approach to leadership for us as project managers. So there you have it. 3 different types of leadership model and some examples of each. Whichever models you choose to draw from, it is well worth learning about each of them, absorbing the ideas and building them into your own personal theory, your own personal model of leadership as a project leader. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel so that you can get all of our new content, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.